Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. As you guys could tell by the title today, we are going to be going step by step on a quick little get ready with me on my new updated foundation routine. This has probably been the most requested video that I've gotten yet, is how do I make my skin look so flawless, so perfect, and so smooth every time that I put foundation on. So if you guys want to see how I get this kind of airbrushed everyday foundation look, then please keep watching. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with this video. I'm going to try to make it short and sweet so it just all makes sense. And I'm going to try to talk a little bit slower in this video so you guys can understand what I'm saying, because I've been told that I talk too fast. So I'm going to go ahead and start. I already started with my skincare, so I already cleansed, moisturized my skin. So I'm dealing with some clean skin, and I did wash my hands. So now I'm going to go ahead and prime my skin. You can mix this product in with your foundation if you want to. I will also have clips, or at least I'm going to try to have clips of all the products so you guys can see them up and close, just because I don't want to hold them super close to the camera at the moment. But this is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Glotion. I got mine in the shade Light Glow 902. I found mine at Bed & Bath. You can find this at Target, CVS, Walmart, so definitely go ahead and pick this up. They have a couple different shade ranges. I think they have 4 different shades depending on your skin tone. But yeah, you can mix this in with your foundation, or you can just wear it alone if you just want a really hydrated look. But I'm going to go ahead and just put a little bit on my finger. And I'm just going to use the viewfinder right now as my mirror, even though I do have a little mirror. And if you are oily, maybe don't put it in your T-zone area, which is right here on your forehead, your nose, and your chin. Maybe just put it on the outside of your face. But I do have very dry skin, so I just like to glow everywhere. Now that you can see that my skin definitely looks a little bit more hydrated, dewy, refreshing type of a look. Again, you can just go out like this throughout the day. It definitely gives a hydrated look and glow to the skin. But I'm going to go ahead and use one of my favorite foundations. You guys will notice all these products that I use today are Drugstore as well, which is super exciting because all this is affordable. And you'll also notice that a lot of this stuff is either Maybelline or L'Oreal. Those are my 2 favorite drugstore foundation and makeup brands and stuff like that. So I'm going to go in with the new Maybelline Superstay Full Coverage Foundation, and I'm using mine in the shade 128 Warm Nude. Again, I will leave all my products listed down below that I'm using if you guys want to go ahead and purchase them. So I'm going to go ahead and just put my product on a blank little palette here. And I also did already wet a little makeup sponge. I was about to call it a beauty blender, but it's not a beauty blender. This is from Real Techniques. This is their makeup sponge, and I'm just going to go ahead and use the flat side. Again, make sure that this is highly dampened, but not exactly wet. And I'm going to go ahead and just take a little bit of product on my finger, and all I do is I like to press it into my skin with my middle finger and kind of dot it all over. You can tell I have all these funny dots all over my face. This is me wanting more of a medium to full coverage type of a look. And as you'll notice here on the pan, I did not use all of the product. You don't want to use up all your product since I did put 2 pumps on here. It's kind of unnecessary, but if you need to go ahead and spot conceal afterwards and add more foundation in certain areas, like over a zit or a blemish or just some type of scarring or anything like that, then you can do that. So I'm going to go ahead and go in with this flat side, and I'm just going to press it into the skin. I always like to put the most coverage in the center of my face instead of the outside, because all of this right here, especially in my T-zone, fades away throughout the day faster than the outer sides of my face. So that's why I like to push in most of my product going towards the center instead of going out this way. I like to push all my product towards the middle. But honestly, it's up to your personal preference. Okay, so now that we have our primer on, our foundation, as well as our concealer on any type of blemishes and underneath the eyes, we now need to set those areas, because there is a cream on our face right now on all the areas that we just placed everything. And if you do not set it, especially if you have oily skin, it is going to start to crease throughout the day, especially underneath the eyes. Around the mouth is where a lot of women and just people in general start to get creasing if you don't set it. If you have dry skin, you might be able to get away with not setting it, but even though I do have very dry skin, I do like to set at least my under eyes and just a little bit of my face. So I'm going to go ahead and go in now. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder. I have the shade 10 that I'm going to use underneath my eyes, and then I'm also going to use the shade 20 for around my face because I am a little bit tanner. So the good thing about this is it has this little sifter in here, and I'm going to go ahead and place just a little bit, about this much, into the pan, and I'm going to go ahead and take this Morphe M438 brush. It's just a very little tapered brush. I'm sure e.l.f. has one of these that you can find at Target as well, but Morphe is definitely an affordable brand, and most of my brushes are from Morphe. So now I'm going to go ahead and just dip a little bit of this brush into the product. I definitely want to tap off a lot of the excess. A lot of people, you can either set underneath your eyes with this sponge and dampen it and put it into the powder, but I personally like to do mine with the brush more than half the time, just so it doesn't look cakey. And now I'm going to go ahead and even more wipe it off, just because I want the tiniest bit of powder. So before I do that though, and this is another thing that a lot of people don't understand, is you want to make sure that you get rid of any creases that might have already happened. So as I can tell, there's already just a little bit of creasing right here. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm going to go ahead and just look up, and with my dampened sponge and no powder on it, I'm just going to go ahead and clean up these creases before we set it. So now I go ahead and I take my brush that has the powder on it, and I'm just pressing it into the skin. Now this is not called baking. A lot of people do like to bake, which is perfectly fine, and that's when you put a lot of powder underneath it and let it sit for a little while. But I personally, since I have dry skin and dry under eyes, I do not like to do that with mine. So I just like to add a little bit of product at a time and just push it into the under eyes so it will set my concealer. So I'm now going to go ahead and go off camera. I'm going to finish the rest of my face, but I'm not going to powder yet with the number 20 just because I have dry skin, so I'm letting the foundation kind of sink into my skin, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply the powder, but I'll be right back and I'll show you guys how I use this afterwards. So now that I have applied the rest of my makeup, I still haven't set it with powder or anything, even though I did go in with the cream contour, bronzer, highlight, blush, did my eyes, threw on some false lashes. I'm now going to go ahead and go in with that powder that I had mentioned before, which is the Maybelline Loose Finishing Powder in the shade 20 Light Medium. And I'm going to go ahead and just carve out my, I was going to say my cheekbones, but my bronzer and contour just a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit out of here and just dip a little bit into the cap, I mean just the slightest bit, and I'm going to go ahead and just take, again, that damp sponge on the flat side. I'm just going to need probably a little bit more just because this is a version of baking what I'm doing right now, so I'm going to go ahead and I want a lot of powder on this flat end of the Real Techniques sponge. And now I'm going to go ahead and make a fishy face, and I'm going to go ahead and just draw a line right across on both sides just so I can get that even sharpness. Okay, now as you can tell, I do have it cut just as straight as I possibly could get it. I think this one's just a little bit higher, so I'm going to go ahead and just add this a little bit higher just because I want them to be as even as possible. I'm going to add a little bit of the leftover powder on my chin just because my makeup does come off my chin a little bit more and around my nose. Now I do let this sit on my cheekbones and my sides of my face. I don't know why I keep saying cheekbones because cheekbones are up here, but on the sides of my face, underneath my bronzer and contour for probably like a minute and a half, maybe even like 30 seconds, depending on how cut you want it to look. So I will be right back to show you guys how I set my face with some setting spray and put on a lip in just a moment. So now that it's been about probably 20 seconds to 45 seconds, I'm not going to leave it on for a complete minute. I'm going to now take my e.l.f. Flawless Face Brush. I've used it so much the writing has come off of it, but it is just this more dense dome brush. I love this. You can actually use this to apply your foundation too, but I like this for powder. So now I'm going to go ahead and just brush away. As you can tell, I'm not going back and forth like this. I'm just kind of brushing it away. And we can really see, sorry about that, it's so hard not to get this mirror right in the frame. But now, as we can see, I'm also going to go ahead and just press it into the lower half of my skin. And you just get a little bit more of that carved out look. Hopefully you guys can tell, because I can definitely see it in my mirror. But sometimes it's hard to pick it up on camera. But yeah, so now the last little part before we do our lips, I'm going to use my Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. I love this spray so much. And this setting spray alone is like just such an amazing mist. I mean, you could really use any setting spray. This is $15 on the Morphe website or in the store. I really love this one. It just really makes my skin look airbrushed. It sets all the powders. I mean, you could also use MAC Fix Plus. A lot of people like using that too. But the difference between MAC Fix Plus and this setting spray is this helps your makeup last throughout the day, where MAC Fix Plus isn't supposed to last your makeup all day. It's just supposed to help calm down all the powders and make your skin look smooth. So it's really up to your preference, but I'm going to go ahead and just spray this all over my face. I really like to spray a lot of setting spray. And I just kind of fan it off. I even like to fan it off with my little mirror. And try your best not to move when you're doing this, just because you don't want any creasing throughout the face with the powders. I know I'm talking, but that's because I'm explaining this to you, but normally I wouldn't move my face as much. I'm going to go ahead and do one more spray. Fan it off. And now we can go ahead and move into lips. I'm just going to keep the lips super simple, still Drugstore. I'm using the NYX Glide On lip pencil in the shade Sugar Glass. It's a super pretty nude shade. Again, I will have all these products listed down below. I'm going to go ahead and line my lips. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply one of my favorite glosses that is not overly sticky. This is the e.l.f. Lip Plumping Gloss in the shade Champagne. I love this. It's a clear gloss with some little sparkles in it. So pretty. Okay, you guys, so that pretty much sums up the video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. This is the finished look. Hopefully it is picking up on camera as pretty as it is in person. I'm so obsessed with this look. You can do this for an everyday glam look, but I just wanted to do kind of a quick get ready with me. Everyone's been asking about my foundation routine and how I get my skin to look so smooth and everything like that. If you guys did enjoy it, please give it a big thumbs up since it does help out my channel. And if you haven't already, please hit the big red subscribe button off to the bottom. I think it's on the bottom right or left, I'm not sure. And also hit that little notification bell off to the side of it as well. That'll help you get notified every time I do upload a video. And thank you guys so much for watching. I can't wait to see you guys in my next video. Bye!